Cámara y cuando estamos en ese lado. No, 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 no. No,
My name is Ramon Alamillo. I work for Pepperdine University for almost 30 years.
So last year when I was on the club soccer team, Matt Hibbs was actually president of LEAP, and he told me that they would play every day here, and so I came one day and just fell in love playing soccer and meeting new people like the landscapers, people you don't really interact with on campus, and it's a different way for students to actually come out and get to know other people at Pepperdine besides faculty.
Hacemos como amigos, hermanos en el juego de soccer y más diversiones que tenemos aquí entre nosotros, los trabajadores y los estudiantes también. Hay estudiantes que van a jugar con nosotros soccer y disfrutamos y nos divertimos, gritamos y matamos el estrés. Yo considero a los estudiantes como familia mía.
Está muy largo. Son 2 horas de ida y 2 horas de venida. 1 hora de aquí a Los Ángeles y 1 hora esperando los buses.
My name is Gabriel Barril. I'm working here for 29 years, close to 29 years.
I learned that I just talk to people, especially when they were wearing a name tag. So when I got to Pepperdine, a lot of the nicest, most wonderful people that welcomed me, I think the most, were the people in the cafeteria, the landscaping guys, the people that cleaned the dorms. So they, the community feel was not just amongst the students and the professors and the staff, but it was just everyone on campus. And so came to my dorm a lot, and Gabriel was always in the lobby. Usually I caught him on break when he was eating his lunch and watching Spanish soap operas on TV, and so I'd sit down and talk with him, and I got to know him pretty well. And so one day I went to my Humanities 111 class, and I took, it was my first college midterm, and F does not describe how badly I bombed that thing. So I'm coming back to my dorm room like a pretty dejected 18-year-old.
I work in town, and in that time live in I think F Suite. I don't remember exactly, but it's F Suite. And then talking with Chase Reynolds, is the roommate, and then tell me to, hey, can you tell Robbie? Says he wants to go home. Don't feeling well in here. Can you talk to him? And says, okay, give me a minute. And I talk about 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
So I walked back, and he noticed I was kind of slumping over and wasn't as happy as I normally was. He was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, Gabriel, it's not that big a deal. I just failed my first college test. I don't think I can cut it here academically. I don't want to be extradited back to Texas. I'm just kind of worried.
And say why you go home. Imagine the sacrifices make your parents to stay here, and other things too.
I'll never forget. He's not a serious person, and he stopped and he put his hand on my shoulder and sunk his fingers into my shoulder and said, words I'll never forget. He said, looked me right in the eye, and he said, never ever give up. And it was this really profound moment. And it was a really simple message, and it was from someone I didn't expect it to come from.
Next day, the Chase, I don't know, says, what you say it, what you tell him. He very, very stay here for, and then he stay here for till he graduated. I like to be tener el campo hermoso, bonito, seguro para los estudiantes. Me gusta que ellos van a tomar sol, a hacer su homework, o por allá donde estoy cortando el zacate, les dejo bonito y
pasen su tiempo y cuando están en competencias como el béisbol, como soccer, tenis, y pienso yo, oh, qué bonito se mira el campo, para que los estudiantes tengan más ganas de triunfar.
I was sitting in the caf just eating by myself one day, and then I noticed that Miss Maria was cleaning up after all the dishes that were just lying strewn about. So I said hello to her and I asked her how she's doing. And we just carried on a conversation because we both speak Spanish, and I told her that I'm learning Spanish in school right now. And she was like, oh, isn't that nice? So she's kind of helping me practice my conversational Spanish skills.
Que estudien, que no se cansen de estudiar, que traten de formar su carrera, terminarla, y que tengan sus ratos pues de relajarse, pero que no se cansen, porque pues yo sé que se cansan. El cerebro pues también se cansa, como que trabaja en manual, también es igual, todo es un trabajo. Yo lo considero porque mi hijo, el varoncito, el varón, llegaba de la universidad y bien cansado, se dormía. Y todo eso, pues yo sé que y a todos les decía, estudien.
After I got to know Maria, I realized like what a difference that she made in like the way I thought about things, and when I got to like talk to her about spring break and just get to know a little bit about her family and where she came from, I realized like how obviously important she is to this community. You know, sometimes I talk to my friends and we're all like, oh, I had such a hard day, you know, I had 3 classes and I was this and this and that, and it just kind of puts things into perspective. It's like, yeah, we may have had 6 hours of class and we may have been up at 8 a.m. and had 3 different activities and the head of this organization and that organization, but you know, Maria she gets up at 4 a.m. to ride the bus to Pepperdine, and she gets here at 6 and works until 8 o'clock at night, and she never once complains.
Adiós, María.
Rashawn was on the floor whenever she was there, and Jess was complaining because Rashawn wasn't doing the job he was supposed to do.
What a lot of people don't realize is that people who work for us, you know, clean up for us, are actually not just invisible hands and feet, but they're actually people with a story behind them.
You okay? Yeah. One more. Okay.
LEAP is the language exchange at Pepperdine, and it's a program sponsored by the International Programs Office. Basically what we do is we have about 40 landscapers and housekeepers and 40 students, and they work together every week. They meet once a week and have lunch and basically just talk in English and Spanish, and it's designed so that there's kind of cultural exchange, but also like the language exchange component of it. We want people to get as much learning out of it as they can in other languages. Of course, the students learning Spanish and many of the employees learning English. This is my friend Neftali. He's from La Ceiba, Honduras, and he's worked at Pepperdine for 20 years. And we have been meeting every week, more or less, since January 2013, so 15 or 16 months now.
What are you eating?
Armando Douglas.
Right.
It's my person and my teacher. I like it for a long time. It's too many questions and I see happy. Thank you very much for help for me for talk to English and traduction in Spanish. Thank you very much, Will. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I decided to join LEAP because I just came back from being in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I wanted to continue, practicing my Spanish and also just getting to know someone else and their culture. And so I thought there's no better way than joining LEAP and getting to know a lot of the workers here, because I see them always around but I never speak to them, and that's my fault and I always feel bad for doing that. But with participating in LEAP, I'll be able to get to know more of their story and why they're here at Pepperdine. Just the fact that they do so much and they don't ask for anything in return, that's why I think they value these conversations that they have with the students so much more, because they don't get to speak with us a lot, or we just say hi to them and keep on going. So it's helped me to realize to value my relationships more, and the people that I constantly walk by on this campus, just to greet them and say hello, how are you doing, get to know a little more about them whenever I see them.
Alma. Erika.
Erika tiene
14.
14. ¿Y esa es tu esposa, verdad?
Ella es mi esposa. Y este soy yo.
4 hijos, pero desgraciadamente ahora estoy solo. She passed away. Y ya estoy solo, pero tengo mi familia y tengo mi familia en Pepperdine también. Y me siento feliz, me siento alegre, feliz. I'm happy to come to work at Pepperdine. Because Pepperdine is my second, almost my first hogar, my first home.
Tengo 5 hijos, solo una se me vino enojada, tiene como 20 años para acá, y los restos están allá 4. Me viene más que nada por ayudarle en los estudios. Uno es un varón, el único varón es abogado.
I have 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. The little one is 24 now. He's in the take a master's degree in psychology. The 2 boys don't take college classes, only high school. And the old one is take a master's degree in criminology in the New York University, and then have 10 grandchildren.
I got great joy from talking to the people in the cafeteria and the FMP folks, just because they're just so positive, and they did jobs that got overlooked and that maybe were underappreciated, and they just were some of the most wonderful people I met.
My brother-in-law working here, and in that time tried to hire people for housekeeping before us as a company, but maybe don't finish the time for them and hire new people for Pepperdine employees. And then this is the reason my brother-in-law told me to come to apply for. I'm working in carpets, floors, cleaning, Firestone Field Gas cleaning, working in the nights for 5 years, and then back to the dormitory area.
There wasn't a lot of people on campus that I felt confident enough to talk to or confide in, and so when my parents were going through that divorce, that was really a hard time for me. Another time when I needed someone to lean on, and obviously Gabriel was there to do that.
Most all the students are good students. Good, listen to me. Sometimes I say, I don't your father, but your father is far away. But if you let me tell you something good for you and for your life.
Sadly, there's someone serving your food or picking up after you, I think sometimes has a dehumanizing effect, which is really sad. And I think students may do it consciously or subconsciously. But I think that's like the hurdle that has to be, jumped over, is that the distance between you as like a high achieving like high school student who's going to a prestigious university and a person, putting food onto your plate, the gap there is none.
They say, for example, that we can take care of these kinds of things so that you all can study and work hard and change the world or do something like that. So I think they have this kind of undying commitment to students and to Pepperdine and the university's mission, and I think that's very, very special.
La pelota